to scale through certain things in their own way, and it doesn't work. So many people, anything they see they do. So technology is out of place. Mental health is a very, very big issue. But the mental health should start from the government, from the people who find themselves in policy making, members of the House of Assembly, members of the public. We are not just that. It must start from the beginning, from the up, to be recognized. If you start from the up to the down, then it's very good. Then the down we will look that these people up there, they are responding to mental health, they are responding, they're behaving one kind, then they follow them. Some of us, okay, look, our president is now here, taking care of his health. If you go to stay with him, you see that he might be taking very few drugs, very, very few. They're giving psychological attention. This psychological attention is not there in Nigeria. They don't stop there. They keep bombarding you with drugs. So sometimes they even give you fake one. You know, these are issues. These are issues. Technology development cannot go without mental health. Mental health is number one. Mental health is number one. So when you talk, okay, the budgeting in Nigeria, how much do they budget for health? 4%. 4% of the something is for our health. So forget about mental health, because 4% is not enough. If you go into the hospitals, you don't see everything is just like an physical. So how do you talk of mental health? So this is the issue. Development cannot go without mental health.
Okay.
And the mental health must come from the beginning. Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. So in other words, it's very important that mental health be mainstreamed across all workplaces. Is that it?
That is basically mental health is the number one in everything, even in spirituality. If you're not mentally okay, you cannot serve God.
All right. Thank you.
Everything.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Our very own distinguished guest for today. Thank you for responding to all of the questions, and thank you for all of the submissions you've made for in responding to all of these questions we have put forth for you. I would like to open up the conversation to the General House now, as we plan to wrap up the show for today. Please, you want to respond to any of the questions that we have put forward to our guests, or you want to add up anything, please feel free to unmute your mic, or please just raise your electronic hand, and we will be giving you opportunity to also add your voice to this conversation today. But before then, please let me especially and very passionately thank our distinguished guest, clinical psychologist Izuchukwu. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all of the points you have put forward. We will try to intensify this conversation to see how the government and all the relevant stakeholders prioritize mental health in all walks of life. Thank you very much, and we look forward to seeing this. We'll talk more again on the impact of mental health reforms, the impact of mental health plans, the impact of mental health policy and legislation, and cushioning the traumatic experiences, that Nigerians are compelled to go through as a result of the multiple risk factors that we have, staring our faces on a daily basis as Nigerians. So let me quickly give this floor to Dr. Rashid. Please, you have the floor. You have the mic now. Please unmute and make your submission, sir. Thank you very much.
Hi, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. First of all, let me just thank Zion again for bringing this for this discussion to deliberation. And I also want to thank our speaker, Mr. Izuchukwu, for identifying the problems that Nigeria is going through right now, our people are going through. I just wanted to say a few things. Mental health is not new to Nigerians. Historically, mean, if you go to all the communities across Nigeria, people know what mental health is. And traditionally we've been treating mental health problems. I'm a Yoruba person, and I know from the Yoruba culture, whatever, that there are instances where people have traditional medicine have been used to treat mental health. So it's not a new thing, but what is new is that we have lost touch with mental health. We have been deluded to think that religion supersedes our mental health need. So the problem that I find in Nigeria, it's there are a couple of things. Mental health problems in Nigeria are multiple, probably the cause or the lack of attention to it. There are political and leadership questions around mental health, and there are religious, cultural, and social problems. And also there's academic, problems. Like we don't have curriculum in Nigeria from the grassroots, from secondary school that talk about mental health. So people are not aware. So by the time you grow up to be an adult, you probably don't know what your mental health status is. You're not even motivated to want to check what's, so when somebody says, I feel like I'm seeing some kind of symptoms of depression in you, and people, the reaction that you get is that, God forbid, bad thing. I'm not, so there's lack of education, So I just also wanted to talk a little bit about trauma and mental health. Okay. So trauma is an aspect of mental health. Okay. So trauma has been defined as experiences that people go through that overwhelms them. And people respond to trauma differently. So how does trauma experiences lead to mental health? Okay, so mental health issue can occur when trauma and other mental health issues are not detected and are not treated. That's when it becomes serious mental health issue. Okay, so they're not separated, they're all interconnected, but we need to understand that trauma is an experience, is an overwhelming experience that people experience, either through accident, either through death, either through the loss of somebody, or something like that. In Nigeria, we don't have the system, or the systems are so weakened to the extent that if somebody has experience of trauma, they don't even know where to go to, And we don't even have we don't have enough experts to address those concerns when somebody goes to the health center. So it's a multiple layers of problems. So again, what I see in Nigeria, there's something called continuous traumatic stress, and that's where I did my research. My dissertation is on continuous traumatic stress. Nigerians live in a continuous traumatic conditions from different layers and different aspects of their lives. The economy is traumatizing. The political situation is traumatizing. Living in the urban situation is traumatizing. The family system is traumatized. So you see, Nigerians are living with accumulated trauma experiences. And on top of that, there are no institutions that addresses those concerns. So you find out that people are living with bottled up accumulated stress. So the reaction or the consequence of that is different kinds of symptoms that you see on the street. You can see it on the streets. You can see people yelling, you can see people getting angry, you can see people getting into fight. The national security problem that we're facing in Nigeria is related to all of this. So when you bottle up anger, stress for a very long time, and we've been having this for decades. People have bottled up this anxiety, this stress for decades. So you can imagine the rage that will come out of that. So that's what we're seeing now. If you look at the news, people have been killed. So many people have been killed in the north. People are killed everywhere. Is the reaction of those rage, those anger that have been bottled up for decades. The government is doing nothing about it because the government also is the government emerged from among the ignorant Nigerian people. Those people in Abuja, they all came from the same people who have been traumatized for decades. They only have the opportunity to emerge, to get into the National Assembly and stuff like that. They also have their own trauma, So education, and we need to be strategic about this education. Taking this to the National Assembly, taking to the government house, to the various government house, to open their eyes. They're not aware of it, and if they're aware of it, they don't want to deal with it. So it's a layer of problems as far as mental health is concerned. So the religious sector, the religious sector in Nigeria has made things very, very difficult for people. They are not educating people on mental health. They only tell them to go and pray. They're not realistic based institution. Like somebody's experiencing depression. Depression is number one killer of people around the world. And you tell that person to go and pray. And we also know that depression is predictive of other disabilities. It can cause heart problems, it can cause so many things, and it can lead to death. So our people buy into what our church leaders tell them. Go and pray about your symptoms, but we know that prayers doesn't take away somebody's depression. So there's a lot of problems, but I'm glad we're having this discussion. This discussion needs to be taken to this different state head of assemblies. It needs to be taken to different local government, and have a strategic meeting to educate people that this is what's going on, then this is what we need to do. I hope I've been able to make my point. Thank you, Zion.
You really have made your points, and it's very clear. We will really try to see how we can join forces. We've had, I think, on 2 different occasions, taken advocacy to the National Assembly, but we really would like to see how we can concertedly with other organizations, other mental health organizations, and other mental health advocates in Nigeria, drive these focal campaign to members of the National Assembly, both at the red and the green chamber, so that we can see how consciously mental health is properly mainstreamed, not only in their health facilities there, but also between the files and the ranks of their offices. Is very important. So thank you very much for that submission, sir. We really appreciate. Mr. Walls, please go ahead. I can see your hands are up. Your electronic hands are up. Please go ahead, unmute yourself and make your submission, sir.
Good afternoon, good day, good people. I am I'm so happy I've learned a lot from a lot of my senior colleagues here on this platform. My own little contribution, I've seen what we've been doing on and on. Mental health is really a challenge in Nigeria. I, for one, have done since last year, I've done so many free psychotherapies to people, and I talk with people every day, and I see a lot of people need mental health awareness. So I feel going further, a lot of our programs, our awareness campaign, our sensitization programs, we should be able to invite and include government officials. Amongst us, it could be informal. We should start including a lot of government officials. These are the same people who over time will be able to make us to have a good structure in Nigeria. Because if there is no structure for now, politically, everybody keeps doing what they are doing. But once we can get 1 or 2 few political actors who will understand that mental health is really important, they will put it on the scope. Because on TV, we see on the news and everything, just yesterday or day before yesterday, we had a military personnel who committed suicide. Mental health information is being suppressed, and it is really important. If you go within most of this, a lot of people know that it is important, but we in the community, we the mental health professionals need to push this by making this awareness to reach out to most of these government officials who are in the position to give us a structure, who are in the position to make the mental health bill possible, because it is long overdue. I talk to people every day, and some counseling I even do are basic, but a lot of people are not aware. Thank you. This is just my little contribution. Thank you. And thank you, sir, Dr. Rashid and Dr. Izu. Thank you very much for the messages. I'm done, sir.
Thanks a lot. May I ask, where are you joining this call from, please?
Sorry, I'm at home, sir. Okay. I'm at home. I'm in Abuja.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot for joining. I mean, your points are very highly appreciated. We will really see how much concerted energies can be put together to drive home, especially the mental health bill. Because when we talk about the reforms, the bill is very paramount. And as some of us might be aware, at the moment, we already have successfully driven the bill. It's past third reading now. So if there's any better time, we need actors, we need mental health advocates and professionals to come together so that we can jointly, monitor the process from the green chambers to presidency, for all the other layers of ascension that is needed, and also down to each of the individual Nigerian states for the implementation of the act when it's been passed is very important. So I'd like to see how we can be very open to giving also our submissions on how best we can collaborate and drive all of these home together. Essentially, building a mentally healthy society across Nigeria is all about responsibility. We all have what we can do to ensure that it's a safe society where everybody is mentally healthy. Thank you very much. Let me quickly pass the mic to Omusa. Omusa, please, thank you very much. I can see your electronic hand. Please, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I apologize for not showing my video, not being on video, because of the environment I'm in. I'd like to thank the organizers, really, of this event. I am not an expert in this area. I'm a chartered accountant, but I am aware of a few things about it. And Mr. Hughes, Izuchukwu, is on the forum that I am on, and he regularly updates us and gives us very, paramount information on the issues to deal with the health. I think the mistake that most people make is that, people to have a challenge with mental issues, people who, have thrown away their clothes and they're running in the streets and all that. But it's not that. I think it's much wider than that. And mental health can affect and does affect people in all sectors, in all aspects of life. Rich, poor, young, and old, and all that, and it does happen. So I always commend efforts like this to enlighten people on these issues, because they are paramount, and because, as I think it was Hugh who said, mental, a society that has issues, with mental health or whatever description cannot prosper. So it's, as a non-expert, I commend you people for enlightening, all of us in this area, and I'll continue to be grateful for sessions of this kind, and the wider audience you can bring to these sort of sessions, I think the better for not just the country, but the society, as, as a whole, basically. So, just thank you. I have nothing to add professionally in this area because I'm just a chartered accountant, but I appreciate the work that you people do in this area. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. It's really an honor to have you join this conversation today. We're really glad that you made our time. Thank you very much. We are preparing to close in a minute. In the next 3 minutes, we should be closing. Thank you very much. Mr. Dr. Rashid, you have something to add? Please, you have the floor. But meanwhile, please, I'm dropping our Twitter handle for all your contributions. You can also maybe make it very brief and share it on Twitter. You can just tag us. You can share it on your Twitter and tag us. Also, please tag Afrosite. Also tag us all along. We'll be very happy to read your contributions on this subject matter. Truly, Nigerians are traumatized, and like Dr. Rashid said, it's like a continuous cycle. The trauma, the trauma from one level or form of trauma, because the causative factors are just numerous. From one you're in another, from another you're again creeping into another. So we'd like to read your take on these and how the mental health reforms can be a burst of truth to cropping these consign, and also the mental health first aid that our distinguished guest has put forward to us. Please feel free to drop your comments. I'm sharing the link, the Twitter handle right now. Please drop your comment. Mr. Ezuchukwu, please help us also drop Afrosite Twitter handle. I don't want to make mistake. Please drop it so that people can tag along, can tag these institutions, and let's get feedback from people, your take on the subject matter of today. Thank you very much. Dr. Rashid, you have the floor, sir.
No, I don't have nothing more, but I just wanted to emphasize the fact that, there's a ticking bomb, going on in Nigeria right now because of the rage as a result of decades of, issues that have been piled up in people's mind and everything, So I think the topic is relevant. We're talking about trauma and we're talking about mental health. Like I said, they're not too distinctive, but we need to understand that there are people that are going through everyday living experiences that are encountering this traumatic experience on a daily basis. So it's calls on us to really strategize in the sense that what we're doing is appropriate, but I also think that, I don't know if you have already done that or still in the pipeline, to write letters to people in the National Assembly and the State House of Assembly. I don't know if you have any comment on that, or because something needs to be done. Something needs to be done. Yeah, so I just, it's mind-boggling that a country that witnessed so much violence from the independent, from the Civil War to this moment, Nigerians are still living in threatening conditions that create anxiety, but we don't know how to respond to those things. We tend to suppress those things, but there's a limit to how much you can suppress. There's a limit to how much you can suppress. The human mind is inelastic, it's elastic. At some point, the elasticity will break. And I think we are at that point right now. The elasticity of how much we can take in is breaking. We need to be able to diffuse that. And where we can diffuse that is to massively engage people, massively educate people, massively and get the government to be involved, to be part of this discussion. So what we're saying in national security, whatever, people have been using different theories to propound what is the cause of what's going on. And the theories that are being used are tired theories. They're old archaic theories, like using federalism to explain violence, using system to explain violence. How does that work in this in 21st century, when people have moved on to use neuroscience to discuss mental health and how they can support people, and we are still here despite the violence that we're experiencing on a daily basis. We're not even discussing these issues. So I think the mandate is on us right now to do what is needful. We need to massively engage people. We need to massively engage the State House of Assembly. We need to find a partner within the different State of Assembly and the National Assembly. We need to find a collaborator in these institutions. We need to find collaborator within the different ministries in Abuja and everywhere. It's that serious. It's that serious, All right, thank you.
All right, thanks a lot, Dr. Rashid, for that submission. As we prepare to close, I would like to again sincerely thank all our distinguished participants and all who over time had network challenges that dropped off the conversation. Thank you very much for choosing to share your time with us today. We really appreciate you, and we see your passion and your commitment towards building a mentally healthy society across Nigeria. Our call, ending this conversation today is, if you have never written to your representative at the National Assembly before or at the State House, you have never written to your governor before, you have never written to the senator from your constituency, please, the call is, the emails are, you can find the emails online, you can find the contact. If you do not, please do me a DM. I can forward just let me know your constituency and I'll forward you details about their contacts. You need to engage them. You need to write to them. You need to let them know that you expect from them, policies. You expect from them laws that can help build a better mentally healthy society across Nigeria. We've had so much saga around the current mental health bill at the National Assembly, but it's our prayer, however, that let this bill come out, right? So that Nigerians will have a comprehensive mental health plan and mental health care policy or legislation that will support a robust national, care for the people, especially at the grassroots level. So I'd like to thank everybody sincerely for your time and your participation in this call today. It's my prayer that, again, it's not going to end here, but you follow us on our social media, and please drop your comments. Drop what is your take on the level of trauma, the level of increasing continuous trauma that Nigerians are compelled to bear or to face, with all of this spectrum of problems we see, ranging from insecurity to economic, the socioeconomic problems, to academic problems, there's just a huge a spectrum of problems that Nigerians are facing. So we'd like to read from you what your views are on addressing this trauma. We'd like to also read from you on what you think our distinguished legislators, the judiciary, the executive can do in curbing these menace, these problems that we're facing with. Thank you very much. Do have a very lovely remaining hours of the day. And please keep in touch with us. We love to read from you. We love to hear from you so that we can jointly build a mentally healthy society across Nigeria and the globe entirely. Do have a very lovely evening. Do not forget, please follow us on our Twitter handle, Mandate Health NG, and also AfroSite. Please follow us on these two handles. Drop your comments, tag us. We want to read from you. We want to see what exactly is your view. We want to read from you and see how we can, again and again, we can overemphasize this. All hands need to be on deck. We need you to be involved in achieving this mentally healthy state in this country. Thank you very much. You're much appreciated. Do have a very lovely day. Bye. Maybe if you can on your camera so that I can just take a picture if it's okay by you, or you have a photo, you can put on your photo so we can just take a picture. Sorry for that, that's coming late. You can just put on your camera or your picture. Thank you. Thank you. Surajuddin Rafiu, if you can, please. Maoga Bashir, if you can. Femi, if you can. Highly appreciated. Yes, that's my Oga Bash at the top.
Hey, Zion, just quick introduction. Suraji Rafiu is my program officer in Nigeria.
Oh, this is a very valid introduction.
Right. So I told him to.
It's good to see you. It's good to see you, Surajuddin.
Yeah, he tried to join it the last time, boy.
Actually, I got the message very a bit late, so I joined a bit late too. So I have actually learned a lot here this afternoon, I must say. So I'm in learning actually.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I know from Ilorin, I don't know how far it is from Ilorin to Ibadan. I don't know how very far, but we're hoping to do some things in Ibadan, in Oyo State, at the Ministry of Health. So we look forward to collaborating with you guys, and then let's see what we can do. I know Ilorin is Para State now.
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We also.
Yes, sir. That's my second home, sir.
Bash. All right. So we are still trying to reach the Commissioner of Health in Para State. The one we established relationship with is the former one. So we're just trying to get in touch with them because we are trying to open a conversation to the domestication of the mental health act if it's been passed. So we're already trying to liaise with most of the commissioners in the various states. We're looking at 6 states for a start, and we're really working towards that. So I mean, if we get to get some green light from the commissioner from the Ministry of Health in Kwara State, we will definitely contact you, and then we'll see how we can work together. We'll be starting with some form of advocacies, explaining to them what exactly is on board, where are we exactly at the mental health bill, and why they need to be involved, and how they need to be involved. And then we'll also be letting them know how they can begin to plan towards implementation of this act when it's been passed. Of course, we do not want to hold too much on the Lunacy Act of 1958 because I mean we know that is already going to be phased out in a moment. So let's look forward to seeing how much we can work together. It's good seeing you, Suraju. Thanks a lot for joining this meeting.
So we actually appreciate that collaboration.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot. Our guest, Mr. Izuchukwu, thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Dr. Rashid. Thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate your time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Zion. You are so wonderful. Rashid, your presentation was so clear. I also learned a lot from what you said. I'm very, very grateful to every person who came around, especially Omusa. It was just some minutes to the starting that I invited the NIDO. He is the president of the vice president of NIDO UK. Obusa, yes. Just some minutes. Awesome. Just some minutes to the starting that I distributed something, invited him, and he came in.
Oh, thank you. So, that's good. So I'm looking forward to a very big conference. A very big conference. So Zion, it's something we need to have at the back burner a very big conference to talk about some of those things. So
fantastic. Just let me know. I will circulate it to the UK crowd. They're so interested. So many of them, I know that so many people from the UK South are listening to this because I just circulated the invitation to them, and I believe they listened. Just like Obusa came in, I was so excited. So I thank you so much.
Correct. We'll send the video. We'll send the link, and then people who couldn't join, you can also reach. You can share with them, so that they can also drop their comments.
Very good. That's fine. It's okay.
All right.
Thank you very much, Bashir. I can see you're already dropping messages on Twitter. Thank you. Thanks a lot, everybody. Have a very lovely evening.
Take care, guys.
Yeah, thank you for having us.